Here is the question, and here is our mind map approach. We have seen this passage in earlier lessons, and this is the mind map we came up with. Our first bite was the first sentence of the passage. What did it do? It raised a question around whether this scientist can be considered a remarkable one. Our second bite is this part of the passage. What did this bite do? It developed a case for yes as the answer, as in why this scientist should be considered a remarkable one. Then we saw a contrast trigger, followed by what we can consider the last bite of the passage. And what this does is to develop a case for no as the answer, as in why this scientist cannot be considered a remarkable one. We completed the first 4 steps, and now we must go about reading the question stem. This is a purpose of a highlighted term question. The context here is that the talents and accomplishments of our scientist are being discussed. In that process, his key role in a certain field of work is mentioned, and this has been mentioned in the context of his accomplishments as an astronomer. Later, his other talents and contributions have been discussed, but this sentence is about his accomplishments in astronomy. Therefore, to say that the highlighted term is to illustrate the extent of our scientists' contributions to astronomy is absolutely correct. The highlighted part does not refer to a laboratory program. In fact, later in the passage, it has been stated that our scientist did not specialize in such laboratory programs. Incorrect. The highlighted term here does not discuss how scientists hold our scientist in some standing. This reference has come much later in the passage. Besides, the passage does not say that scientists hold our scientist in unreasonably low standing. In fact, the passage says that the scientists duly recognize the influence of our scientist. So much wrong with answer choice B. This is probably the worst of the lot. To explain the disconnect between our scientist's fame and his standing among scientists has been discussed much later in the passage. This is not relevant to the highlighted term here. Incorrect. Answer choice E is a very interesting answer choice, a big trap. Many students would select it. However, this answer choice suffers from the problem of going beyond the role of the term. In the passage, the highlighted term only suggests one of the contributions of our scientist. It has not been established in the passage that our scientist was most gifted in this field as such. In fact, later in the passage, he has been stated as best serving in some other role. Therefore, answer choice E does not state the exact role of the sentence. It deploys an exaggeration and should be eliminated. This is a very interesting question. The most difficult part of solving this question is eliminating choice E. If you did so through correct and complete reasoning, excellent job. D is the correct answer choice.